Ladies and gentlemen, this particular story follows a narrative that we've been talking about probably for about 3 years now. Mom's boyfriend. In this case, is really crazy. It's coming out of a place called Dania Ana County, New Mexico. I've never heard of it. I don't get a lot of stories coming out of New Mexico, but I've heard things. But nonetheless, this beautiful little baby, and I can't understand for the life of me how you could look at a face like this and just outright disrespect life itself. Y'all look at this beautiful little baby girl. Her name, give me a moment, is Camila Hernandez. That little baby is 5 months old. And I just don't understand it. These two individuals that y'all see on my screen, y'all know how I feel about these tattoos. He got neck and face tattoos, and mom looked like she just, a couple of, I don't know. She just looks kind of slow in the eyeballs. Evidence of abuse of a 5-month-old child went unreported and ultimately led to this baby's untimely death, according to the county sheriff's office. The sheriff's office discussed the arrest of the 23-year-old, which is, let me go back for a moment. On the right-hand side, that is 23-year-old Israel Ramirez with the neck tattoos. Then the mother is 23-year-old Danielle Lujan. L-U-J-N, or it's either Luan or Lujan. I'm not sure, nor do I really care to pronounce her name properly when you hurt children. So it's really not relevant. Okay? Now, Ramirez was arrested in connection with the death of Camila, according to court documents. On April the 17th, Ramirez said he found the baby unresponsive and had a neighbor call 911. Court documents show Ramirez told first responders that he had been watching the baby for a few hours while mom was at work. Can we take a pause just right there, just for a moment? I'm going to read that again. This fool with neck tattoos was left in charge of watching a 5-month-old baby, based on what we understand, does not biologically belong to him. How many times, let me see, Luhan, okay, fine. How many times are we going to tell this exact same story? Mom had to go to work. She had no choice but to leave this beautiful, innocent, defenseless baby with her boyfriend. We have a hashtag for this because y'all know that I tend to think that people that have neck and face tattoos are thug or thug-minded people. And y'all know we have a hashtag where we say, when you date thugs, you date death. All right? Authorities say that the infant was taken by ambulance to a hospital in critical condition with multiple fractured ribs and a brain injury, and the baby died later on. And I want y'all to remember that Camila was 5 months old, not even 5 years old. 5 months. That precious baby. And you look at her face, look into those deep black eyes and ask yourself, what could this baby have done so wrong to cause a person in their heart to feel like they need to cause multiple fractured rib injuries to this baby and brain damage? Probably from beating the baby up. And these adults don't have the mental capacity to be around children. Children are very, very, what am I trying to say? It takes a lot of effort to raise. It's not just this easy thing. You sit and feed them and then you just let them be. It's not how it works. They are very needy and depend on us for every single thing that they get. And I don't think that's something that we should take so lightly. Matter of fact, let me ask a question, because I know some people might get a little perturbed at my opinion about these situations, but you'd also have to ask yourself, What in the hell happened to the baby's dad in less than, let me see, that'd be 5, 6, 7? So let me see. No, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. In 14 months, the dad is already out of this child's life. And this woman is already in the next relationship. A full-blown relationship. How disgusting is that? Do you even allow your womb to heal after birth before you lay under the next man? Gross. You just can't get that level of desperate, and you can't be that level of dumb. Stupid is as stupid does. Isn't that right, Lieutenant Dan? Stupid is as stupid does. And mom felt so little about that baby, she didn't care about this child at all. To leave her child with a dude with a face like that and neck markings all over his damn self, because you know he ain't, he's not a law-abiding citizen, I'm assuming. I don't think that somebody who has the mental capacity to do something like that is a good, solid person, period. And the mom cared more about this man, her own personal pleasures. She put her own personal pleasures before this beautiful, precious baby. Let alone the fact that you don't think about giving up custody of this baby to the dad because you're collecting the benefits off of this child that you can get from them. And we call that hashtag babies for benefits. Because why else would you leave your child defenseless around this man and not give the child over to the dad? I am positive that the biological father of this child would have happily have taken ownership of this kid if the mom would have let him. But let's move on. Ramirez is facing 1 count of intentional child abuse resulting in death of a child under age 12 and 1 count of intentional child abuse resulting in great bodily harm of a child under age 12 years old. Lujan is facing charges with child abuse resulting in great bodily harm, and which is also a first-degree felony. If you see something concerning to you as a family member or friend, say something, according to Dania Ana County Sheriff Kim Stewart. If you see something, say something. Who do y'all know says that more than anybody? Which show was the show that came out and defended children first and dedicated their platform to children first, that said this all the time first? See something, say something. And I'm thankful that more people are using this message, especially when it comes to defending our children. I've seen more people in the news than ever using that phrase in defense of our children, and I'm thankful that they do so, because somebody should have realized that something was wrong here. Many people around Camila suspected abuse, observed evidence of abuse, but failed to report it. Now I wonder who those people are, because I'm going to read that again. Many people, and this is according to Dania Ana County Sheriff Kim Stewart. Hashtag not my words. Don't get mad at me. Stop emailing me your death threats. Stop tagging me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Your death threats talk about, well, you could get touched. You could get run up on. How about we come down there and find you, and we can make sure you end up missing, Just Jay. People want to send me death threats because I'm literally giving details of what the news and the police and the courts are saying. All I'm doing is giving my opinion about what the hell is going on. I'm totally confused by that. Israel, this fool right here on my screen, nobody's going to be bad-mouthing him and sending him death threats, are they? Is anybody going to be sending Danielle Lujan death threats for leaving her child with a thug lion? No, some of y'all might be wondering, why did he say thug lion? What does that mean? What does thug lion mean? And I want you guys to remember that thug, Thug, is an action, not a skin color. Okay? His actions make him a thug because he beat up and murdered a baby. Mom went to the thug zoo and left her baby inside of the thug lion cage. And then the thug lion does what the thug lion do and act a damn fool and mauled and murdered a baby. That's why we call it the thug zoo. Because you understand that if you do a simple background check, you can learn a lot about these people. Even if it costs money, make it as an investment. We spend money on stupid crap every day. Come on, let's talk about this for a moment. How much stupid crap do we buy each and every day? Stuff that we don't need, stuff that's not healthy for our bodies, but yet we won't invest in a background check when it is so crucial to our children. So one would have to ask, what qualified this man as a suitable babysitter besides the fact that the mother liked to put this man inside her mouth and inside her body? Was that too graphic for y'all? What qualified this man to be a babysitter outside of the fact that mom enjoyed laying on top of him? Because I can guarantee you, if there were a checklist of things, he wouldn't qualify under any of them. Danya Ana County deputies arrived at the home in Mesquite regarding an unresponsive baby. Authorities reported that Ramirez was found giving baby Camila CPR. Camila was taken to Memorial Medical Center and then relocated to University Medical Center in El Paso, Texas. Doctors and staff at the Las Cruces Hospital reported old and new bruises. Matter of fact, let's pause. I totally forgot. We need to go back and revisit something. Kim Stewart said something. She said, many people around this baby suspected abuse, observed evidence of abuse, and failed to report it. Can we talk about jail time? What does the AFC stand for? Advocates for Children. Many people. Why aren't those many people being investigated? Because they knew something and didn't say anything. I thought that they had this rule in America that you could actually be charged with a crime if you witness a crime. We know that you witness a crime and don't say anything at all. Let alone if it's adults. How about the fact that it's a 5-month-old baby and nobody was there to stand up for her? I just don't understand this. In this world where we can march up and down the damn streets about grown people like Dante Wright, like Ahmaud Arbery, like Alton Sterling, like Walter L. Scott, like Rashard Brooks, like Breonna Taylor, like George Floyd, like Stephon Clark. These are all grown people. Grown adults who have had an opportunity to grow up and become something great. We are naming holidays after people. We're making statues after people. We're making t-shirts after people. We're making laws after these people. That is insane. That is insane. And not to say that those people's lives didn't mean anything, but what I am telling you is that that baby's life, Camila Hernandez, that baby's life, and this is my message to everybody who is listening to the sound of my voice, and I hope y'all click the thumbs up to share this message. I believe that this baby's life matters more than those adult lives. Is my message very clear? I think my message is very clear for those who might not understand where I'm coming from. I'm not saying that their lives don't matter. What I'm saying is her life matters more than adult lives because adults should be protecting the children. Isn't that the way it's supposed to work? Isn't that how children survive? Because they need us for everything that they get. Food, clothing, shelter, nourishment, health, medical care, everything. They can't do this stuff by themselves. So for anybody to get mad because they don't understand that message is beyond me. And I think you need a mental check. But I think that the people who knew something was wrong and didn't say anything easily should have to do 6 months in jail minimum. Give them half a year in jail. Doctors and staff reported old and new bruises on this baby and that the infant was unresponsive with her pupils not reacting to light stimulus, indicating severe brain injury. That usually means blunt force trauma. That usually means the baby was either punched or hit in the head. X-rays and CT scans indicated fractured ribs, a fractured tibia, and brain bleed. Pediatric doctors at the University Medical Center in El Paso reported more injuries, confirming more fractures to the infant's limbs, torso, brain bleed, consisting with their opinion of child abuse and shaken baby syndrome. Even though the abuse may not be at the hands of your family member or friend, you may be saving a child's life by making a report. Something so simple to do, and in a lot of cases you can do that anonymously. Stewart spoke to the connection between animal abuse, and child abuse as an early warning sign, citing several studies that point to a direct link between acts of cruelty to animals and violence to humans. But it seems like more people get more upset about animal abuse, fighting dogs, or whatever the hell else it is that they do, rather than taking a stand for our children. I think that's egregious in America. Stewart said New Mexico ranks number 50 in the U.S. in animal protection laws, and that law enforcement's inability to fully prosecute individuals for animal cruelty leads to more violence against children and spouses as a result. I don't even know how they even correlate that. That's kind of weird, but I don't know. Maybe y'all can make some sense of that. But Ramirez and Lujan were arrested Thursday and are being held with no bond. Zero bond. No bond. On Tuesday, District Court Judge Richard Jaquez denied a motion for pretrial detention for Ramirez. So the judge granted Ramirez a $25,000 secured bond under the following conditions, which I don't know how he'd get a bond. Must reside with his parents in Las Mesa, a curfew in effect to 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., cannot leave Dona Ana County, no contact with minors unless there is adult supervision provided from Children, Youth, and Family Department, cannot violate local, state, or federal laws, can't consume or be around alcohol, cannot possess weapons, cannot have illegal drugs, must contact his attorney weekly, and if seeking employment, attorney must be notified. Sheriff Kim Stewart said Ramirez's being granted bond was unacceptable, and that I agree with. Yes, he got a secured bond, but that don't mean he got out. That just means the judge granted him a bond. And y'all heard what I told y'all he did to this 5-month-old baby. That's the judge who made that call. They said, I just want to say, whoever this judge was today, that if that was your grandchild or your child, would you have considered this person to be a threat to the community? Stewart said. Baby Camilla's family, including her dad, stood outside the government center on Tuesday holding signs that read, "Justice for Camilla." Her aunt has this message for Ramirez. You have kids too. And our question for you is, how long would you want your children to live for? 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 100? Well, that's how long you should be locked up and never come out, according to Jalene Lujan, Camila's aunt. Now, evidence collected by the sheriff's investigators from Ramirez's cell phone showed searches on the internet were done days before this baby's death. Are y'all ready for this? So I want to warn you guys, I'm going to give y'all some details, and these details are going to be very difficult to listen to. So if you can't handle it, this is not a news station. I'm simply telling you the facts of this story, okay? He did Google searches on his phone, and guess what they found? Why do babies cry when they see someone? Number 2, why is my baby's stomach hurting? Number 3, why is my baby's stomach hurting to the touch? Number 4, how bad is teething for babies? Number 5, what does a broken rib look like? Number 6, babies' broken ribs. Number 7, babies' ribs popping. Popping. Babies' ribs popping. Number 8, what is hip dysplasia in babies? That is what they found on his cell phone. And they gave him, I'm trying not to get upset. Keep in mind what the baby died from: broken ribs, broken hips, brain bleeding, brain injuries. All of these searches he did on Google on his cell phone, and the judge gave him a $25,000 bond. Does that make any sense? I just don't understand. If we're not going to stand up for a baby like this, why would we stand up for anything else? Can I ask y'all a question? Maybe y'all can Google search this, since people like to Google search things about babies. Google search this. Find out when Michael Vick was in jail, when he was arrested. Find out how much his bond was when he was arrested for dog fighting. Can somebody look that up while we're live? We're live right now. So if y'all are listening, click the thumbs up, share the stream, let more people know that we're live. Somebody please look that up and tell me, did Michael Vick have a bond? The one that used to play with the Philadelphia Eagles football team, NFL. Did they give him a bond? And if he had a bond, how much was his bond? And I want to show you guys the difference between dog fighting and the murder and abuse of a baby that everybody saw and everybody ignored. The judge said Tuesday he agreed that Ramirez knew something was wrong with Camila but failed to take action. Jaquez said Ramirez is dangerous but granted the secure bond under conditions. Lujan is awaiting her pretrial detention hearing in the Dona Ana County Detention Center. If you suspect a child is being abused, you can make an anonymous report through the New Mexico Children, Youth, and Family Department Child Abuse Hotline at 855-333-7233. But why even put the information out there since these bastards clearly aren't utilizing it? So I want y'all to notice what the people are posting in the chat, what Michael Vick's bond was compared to what the bond was for an adult, for this adult who murdered and helped abuse a baby. Let me give you guys the fair usage. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Mexico man is accused of killing a 5-month-old baby girl. 23-year-old Israel Ramirez was arrested by the Doña Ana County Sheriff's Office for allegedly abusing the daughter of his girlfriend, resulting in the little girl's death. According to an arrest affidavit, Ramirez said he found the baby not breathing, telling officers he shook her to get a response. First responders took the child to a hospital where a doctor noticed several injuries that were consistent with child abuse. Investigators say a search of Ramirez's phone also showed that he knew about the injuries to the child for several weeks. The infant's mother, Danielle Lujan, has also been arrested for child abuse.
Outrage, anger, and disbelief. Moments after reflecting on the tragic death of a 5-month-old Doña Ana County baby girl, the sheriff learned one of her suspected abusers was granted bond. ABC 7's Kate Beery heard her disappointment in Las Cruces. She reports from our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom.
Camila's father, aunt, and grandfather are demanding justice.
This case has touched us deeply.
Camila, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
For the first time on Tuesday, we see the face of the beloved baby girl, Camila. Authorities say the 5-month-old died at the hands of abuse. Deputies arrested the infant's 23-year-old mother, Danielle Lujan, and her boyfriend, 23-year-old Israel Ramirez.
If you see something concerning to you as a family member or a friend, say something.
Is that not been our mantra on the AFC for a long time now, for years now? I love the fact that they're saying that. Let me let y'all hear that one more time. See something, say something.
Thing concerning to you as a family member or a friend, say something.
The sheriff shocked he was granted bond.
A person who would batter, abuse, and ultimately kill an infant is a danger to our community. It is a danger to our quality of life. It is a danger to our future.
So has Israel Ramirez posted bond? We've been checking repeatedly since his court appearance this morning. Let's check now. Look at that. No matches found. That means Ramirez has posted bond. And on ABC 7 News 6, I'll bring you the family's outrage that the suspected baby's abuser is out walking the streets of Doña Ana County.
He's out on bond. Wow. Good job, New Mexico. Good job. Wow. I want y'all to understand. This makes New Mexico look really weak and really bad. Look how much they care about children. At least in Texas, we have a thing called super aggravated child abuse laws. We don't believe in being soft on criminals, especially when they're accused of murdering and abusing children. He is out on bond according to what they just found. Listen to this again.
Look at that. No matches found. That means Ramirez has posted bond. And on ABC 7 News 6, I'll bring you the family's outrage that the suspected baby's abuser is out walking the streets of Doña Ana County. Wow. Reporting in Las Cruces with our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom, Kate Beery, ABC.
A chilling 911 call captures desperate attempts to save a baby's life. But according to court documents obtained by ABC 7, doctors suspect long-term abuse was likely the cause of a 5-month-old infant's bruises, broken bones, and brain damage.
ABC 7's Kate Beery heard the emotional and dramatic 911 calls from last month. Authorities say the suspected abuse happened on the 400 block of East Plaza Drive in Mesquite. And a warning, some viewers might find this story intense or frightening. It's a story you'll see only on ABC 7 from our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom.
A young mother races home to Mesquite after learning her 5-month-old baby was found unresponsive inside this home. Here are the moments they perform CPR on the infant, desperately trying to get her to breathe.
Camila, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on.
In this 911 call, you can hear 23-year-old Israel Ramirez making a desperate attempt to save his girlfriend's daughter's young life.
Okay, Israel, I need you to keep calm for me, okay? Make sure that her airway, okay, make sure that her mouth and airway is not blocked, okay?
His girlfriend, 23-year-old Danielle Lujan, on her way home from work.
I need an ambulance, please. My daughter's not breathing. She's 5 months old. Please. Okay, don't hang up on me, okay? I'm on my way home. I was at work. She's 5 months old. I can't let this happen. No. Okay, you...
Ramirez told investigators he found the baby covered with a blanket in bed, purple in color, and not breathing. Court documents say he jumped this wall holding the baby, quote, like a football to get help from this neighbor.
A little baby. A baby's not breathing.
That neighbor did not want to talk.
He said a baby. His girlfriend's baby, he referred to her as a baby, almost like a random child. Y'all catch that?
Holding the baby, quote, like a football to get help from this neighbor.
A little baby. A baby's not breathing.
That neighbor did not want to talk about April 17th, saying the day was too difficult and painful. According to court documents, Camila had severe brain injury, possibly brain dead from her injuries, bruises, swelling, and not just fractures from the CPR, but fractured ribs which appeared old and were healing. In the documents, doctors said the injuries were consistent with long-term child abuse. As Ramirez and Lujan face first-degree felony child abuse charges, Doña Ana County Sheriff Kim Stewart emphasizing,
If you see something, you need to say something.
See something, say something. Let me hear that one more time. I love it when I hear it. See something, say something.
Kim Stewart emphasizing,
If you see something, you need to say something.
23-year-old Danielle Lujan charged with child abuse. Her boyfriend, 23-year-old Israel Ramirez, charged with intentional child abuse resulting in the death of a child. His first appearance is Tuesday at 9 a.m. Reporting from Mesquite, New Mexico, with our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom, Kate Beery.
But let me tell you guys this. Sometimes these criminals can be so good at what they do, they can outsmart the system. And I believe that that's what's happened here. I think that this thug, this criminal, this man, grown-ass man that don't work, don't have a job, living off of this woman, and this woman was dumb enough to leave her baby in the clutches of someone who was not qualified to be a babysitter in any shape, form, or fashion. Left the baby with him. And here's what I believe. I believe that he saw this as a way to be able to get out of this situation. He said, oh, I was trying to shake the baby to wake the baby up. I was giving the baby CPR. That's how the baby got broken ribs. I don't believe this at all. Don't believe this at all. And like I say, for there to be signs of abuse from old injuries to new injuries, meaning other people saw it and didn't say anything, and they're just going to let this get swept under the rug. I'm putting this on as a failure of New Mexico as a state. New Mexico as a state has failed this baby for letting a criminal get out of jail for $25,000. I believe he's a criminal. And I think the evidence will prove it. $25,000 bond. But I'm glad I brought that point up because the people researched it and looked it up and found out that when Michael Vick was arrested for running a dog ring, not necessarily fighting dogs, but being associated with dog fighting, had twice the amount of bond for dogs. How do we care more in America about dogs than babies? I'm sorry, but we really have to set the line of demarcation a hell of a lot more clear than that. Do we care more about dogs or do we care more about babies? Because one has to matter more than the other. Just the same way that I talked about all of those Black Lives Matter situations and people going out marching, I believe that those lives should not matter as much, those grown lives that were lost in tragic ways, as this baby's life that was taken away in a tragic way. This should matter more. And I want y'all to look at that picture. That is a clear depiction as to how many people. Let's go back. Let us not skip that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. 5 people in the whole state of New Mexico that came out and advocated for this baby. I want y'all to understand, this is what it looks like when children lose their lives in America. We don't have rallies. We don't have marches. We don't get in uproars. We don't go out and threaten people. We don't go out and harass people. Do y'all think that he's going to get harassed and threatened? Probably not. Probably going to be laying up under somebody else. They talking about he can live with his mom. Mom going to be making sure he continue to keep eating and getting fat and kicking his feet up and not learning any responsibility. I just don't understand it. And I think New Mexico needs to take this and hold this L. New Mexico takes the L today as a state. This is a failure on the state, the entire state. Baby Camila was 5 months old. That is a princess. This princess could not speak for herself nor defend herself against the tyranny of her caretakers. This baby lost her life because of Tweedledee and Tweedledum. These two dumbasses caused this situation to happen. And I think the biological father needs justice for his beautiful, beautiful young little princess. So to Camila Isabella Hernandez, let me get her picture up here. That one's probably my favorite picture right there. Camila, young princess, R.I.P. We're going to fight for justice. We're going to speak for justice. And we're going to continue to share these videos in hope of getting justice and changing the minds and the hearts of people. So thank y'all for listening with an open mind and an open heart.